Всем привет! С вами Анастасия Иванова Use Your English. Напоминаю, что на этом канале мы с вами не учим английский, а живем на нем. Это значит, что для изучения новых слов и употребляемых в реальной жизни фраз я предлагаю вам слушать и смотреть то, что вам действительно интересно. Поэтому сегодня будет очень интересное видео для тех, кто интересуется своими деньгами. Ведь для этого видео я пригласила money coach, финансового консультанта Denise, которая написала не одну книгу о привлечении денег в вашу жизнь и очень хорошо разбирается в этом вопросе. Но прежде чем мы приступим к интервью, обратите внимание, что по ссылке под видео вы можете подписаться на бесплатную рассылку Use Your English и получать настоящие статьи из настоящих британских журналов со словариками и заданиями по ним. Ну что ж, приятного просмотра. Обращайте внимание на полезные слова на видео и жду ваши комментарии и лайки. First of all, let me thank you for your wonderful book, Get Rich Like a Bitch. I've read it. I love it. Now I use all the things you wrote about, and I think that my followers will benefit from the books and from the podcast and from this video too. So let's start with some information about you. What do you do? How do you help people, etc., etc.?
So I help mostly women and mostly women in business. I help them with their money mindset because when I started out in business, I was helping people as a life coach and then as a business coach. But what I found was that all of my clients had negative beliefs about money. And I realized it's really hard to do anything in your business if you have a massive negative story about money or you don't believe that you are allowed to make money. So I specialized in that about 7 years ago, and I help people be okay with their prices. I help people feel okay about receiving money from their clients and help them grow their incomes without guilt.
Yeah, perfect job. I think.
Well, I love it, yeah.
I love it. So, in your book, I saw a lot of quotes. Like in every chapter, there were some quotes from famous people about money, abundance, and wealth, etc. So, you believe in the power of words, right? What we say, it's very important
Definitely.
to attract or not to attract, right? How does it usually happen?
Well, I started learning about affirmations when I was a teenager, and I found affirmations such a helpful tool for me to overcome fear and anxiety around new things or to overcome confidence issues as well. So the very first mantra I ever used in my life was, it's not a very pretty kind of one, but it was about fear. And I would say to myself, whenever I was feeling scared, I would say to myself, fear gives me the energy to do my best in a new situation.
Mm-hmm. This is interesting.
And that really helped me as a teenager because I mean, especially I think when you're a girl, as a teen, you're constantly overthinking things. And, I was always scared about new situations. So I started that affirmation, and then I discovered Louise Hay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know about her books. Yeah.
Yes, a beautiful book, You Can Heal Your Life. And she talks a lot about affirmations in that book. So I discovered that book in my 20s, and that really changed my life as well. So now in my courses, first of all, I teach that you have to acknowledge the negative thoughts that are going on in your brain because they're going on anyway.
Why? Have you found out why do we have these negative thoughts?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So for most of us, our negative thoughts about money were developed at a very, very young age. Mm-hmm. So we talk about affirmations, but so many of us have unknowingly negative affirmations about money running in our head all the time.
Like every day.
And we usually picked them up from our family.
Yeah, that's true. But why do you think people have these affirmations, negative sayings about money in the first place? Where did it start? How did it start?
Who knows who it started, but where it started.
Why don't we have positive affirmations?
Absolutely. Because if you think of how many times that's been passed down in the generations, the very first thing that most of us hear about money is don't put that in your mouth. Money is dirty.
Mm-hmm.
That's our first interaction ever with money.
Yeah.
And then depending on your family, you might have unofficial mottos like, well, money doesn't grow on trees, or you don't get something for nothing, or you have to work hard. And I'm sure, in your language, there will be different ones because other countries,
yeah.
Absolutely. But I found that some countries have ones that are particular to that country. So I find that people have got money blocks, from their family, but sometimes you get a money block from where you live
Mm-hmm.
or where you've grown up. And, if you've grown up, say, for example, in a communist country, you might have negative beliefs that came from everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
From absolutely everywhere. Or, for example, if you grew up in America, it's been drummed into you from a very young age that you have to work really, really, really hard to make money. And it has to be this competitive thing, and you have to be the best at everything to succeed. In Australia, ours is about don't stand out too much because people will cut you down. So that makes people fearful in their businesses about being visible. And of course, it's really hard to make money in your business if you don't want to tell people about what you do. So I find it fascinating, where these blocks come from and how different they can be, but also how universal they can be too.
But you can change them into positive thoughts, positive affirmations. And how do you do this? Can you give us advice? Where do we start?
Absolutely. So the very first thing is to be aware of it in the first place. Okay. So sometimes that takes a little bit of an inventory. What did your parents say about money? What did your school friends or your teachers say about money? What did you learn from your first job? And also, just what's the money story of your family? Did you grow up rich, poor, middle class? Did you have a family member who got really wealthy but spent it all? You really got to look at where you're coming from. What's your past relationship with money? Just to be aware of it, that's definitely the first step. What did I just take on, and what did I just, bring into my awareness just through growing up around that? The next thing you want to do is to create a pattern interrupter. Okay, so this is just to stop that thought every time you think it. But there's a couple of things that I suggest as pattern interrupters. One is that you just snap yourself out of it and go, nope, I'm not going to say that anymore. Nope, I'm not going to say that anymore. I like to use an elastic band. If I see myself or hear myself.
Read something here. It's not elastic, but still it helps.
Absolutely. It could be that rather than elastic band, because you can go like this, don't think that thought. You can have a mantra band, for example, with something positive written on it. Or the thing that I love as a pattern interrupter is tapping. It's called EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, and it's a way of saying out loud the negative thoughts that you have and letting them go. Then the last step is to replace it with a positive thought. So you might have discovered, oh my God, my family members said money doesn't grow on trees all the time. So anytime you find yourself saying it out loud or thinking it, you can do a pattern interrupter, do some tapping, but then you need a new mantra.
Yes.
So then you find
what
yourself
do you
and you
say
go,
instead?
no.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it could be, there is abundance all around me. There is abundance all around me. Something like that, just to replace that with something positive.
Can you listen to something, some meditation practice, some affirmations too? And I know that you have meditation audio, don't you? Yeah.
I do. Yeah, I love subliminal audios. I find them really interesting to train your brain. I started listening to them when I was studying at school. And I would listen to one that was about memory. And it was just lovely, classical music. And then the affirmations underneath the music were, I retain information easily. It's easy for me to study. I love learning. And I would just listen to that as I studied. So when I started my business, I was like, we need to do these for business. So I remember buying one about creative writing and using that to sit and write stuff. And then I've created some of my own too that are just about money.
So when did you listen to them? While doing something around the house or while walking? All the time, just during the day?
Absolutely. Just not when you're driving.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yes. So
It's a bit dangerous. But that you brought up a good thing though, is like you need to crowd out the bad stuff and bring in the good stuff. So for me, I'm very, very careful about what I listen to. I'm very careful about what kind of podcasts I listen to, who I surround myself with, because you need to crowd out that negative, those negative thoughts and feelings that come from everywhere. I still have them as well. It's really hard to get rid of them completely. But the way you get rid of them or you manage them is by bringing in as much positivity as possible. And when I have a big goal that I want to manifest, I get so focused. And I even make sure I'm listening to songs about money, positive songs.
Do you have a playlist?
And
do you have a playlist to share?
I have created a playlist at some
because
point.
I was thinking about it the other day.
About money.
Yeah, it really makes sense because people sing a lot about money nowadays, so we can choose.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
J-Lo's got a great song about money.
Yeah, and there are a lot of new ones from the new generation. They sing only about money now, I think. Yeah. So, and what do you what do you tell your children about money? If we're speaking about being brought up in this negative money environment, how do we create a positive money environment?
So there's two really important things that I try and do. One is I don't talk about money in a negative sense myself. So I will say, hey, don't put that in your mouth. We take care of our money. Same thing, but different energy around it. The other thing that I do, which doesn't seem like it's related to money, but when my kids have a birthday party and they blow out the cake, they blow out the candles, I don't know what it's like there, but in Australia we say, don't tell anyone your wishes or they won't come true.
Yeah, it's the same, basically the same, yeah.
Okay, so that seems to be pretty universal. I want us all to stop doing that because I talk to adult women all the time and I say, tell me your goals, and they cannot.
Yeah, because you can't share. Yeah.
You can't share it. You'll jinx it. It won't come true.
Jinx. So you have to write down your goals, right? You have to say them out loud, and that's how you attract this abundance and these goals to be achieved. Yes, that's true. Okay. So what is the best advice you can give to change this situation? We can use affirmation. So first declutter, right? We declutter negative affirmations, then we swap them and change them into positive affirmations. And how do you check the progress? How do you track what you've done already about this?
That's a great question. So what I find is at the start, if you write down all of the negative thoughts you have about money, right? Every negative situation, every thought, every belief, whatever, do all your work around it, all the tapping and finding new affirmations. And then afterwards, try and write the same list. And what I find is the first time people do that exercise, they might have pages and pages and pages of negative money memories, negative thoughts and feelings and beliefs about money, and then they try and replicate that list after doing the work. They can't. Some of that is gone forever. They've forgotten it.
They just let it go.
It's gone, absolutely. However, not everything will go completely. So there's some things you have to work on again and again. But that's the way you test it. Is how do I feel about money? It could be even that you, record how many times a day you're having a negative thought about money and aim to reduce it. And also, one great way to record and see how your progress is to track your income.
Okay.
It's really black and white. Like your income should be going up as you feel better about money.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for the advice. And so can you tell my followers, and because I know basically everything you do, but can you tell my followers where they can find you, what new book, you have a new book now, right?
Sure. So I'm really easy to find online. My website is Denise, denisedt.com. That's also my social media handle. So I'm on Instagram at DeniseDT, Twitter at DeniseDT, Facebook.com/DeniseDT. I'm really,
very
really
convenient.
easy to find. Yes, very. And what I would love people to do is take a screenshot of us talking and tag me at DeniseDT and tell us your ahas from this conversation,
Yes,
and also what you're actually going to do differently. That would be good too. My new book out is called Chillpreneur. All the details for that are at chillpreneur.com, but it's also available online where all books are sold. And I'm really excited about this book because my first book was about manifesting. My second book was about money. My third book is about business and about doing business your way in a way that works for your personality, is the path of least resistance. And that's when you can really create not only an enjoyable but a profitable business too. So I'm very excited for people to start reading the book and to let me know their ahas.
Oh, I'm very excited too. I really want my followers to start reading and listening to you, because the message you are sending in this world is very, very useful and very good for us and for our families and for our children, especially because they are going to live in a new world and they have to know how to deal with money. I think it's very important for them now. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.